Welcome to everyone who picked pile number 1. So today we are doing a classic one. We are going to look into their hidden feelings and their next move toward you. And because this is such a classic topic, I'm going to keep it really clean today and use tarot deck only. So let me quickly walk you through the spread. The first line is going to show me the dynamic between you and this person you're thinking about, and also the kind of energy they're in these days. The second row is going to be their hidden feelings, and then the third row is going to show their next action toward you. And after that, we'll pull a quick advice message for you. So let's start with the first row. I was originally going to pull 5 cards, but the moon jumped out, so we're just going to read it as part of the message. And honestly, with the moon coming out as a jumper, I feel like this situation has been really confusing for you. Like, you don't really know where this is going, you don't have a clear answer, and it probably feels really frustrating. The overall energy here feels stuck. What I mean is, there's not much movement in this connection. And for a lot of you, this relationship hasn't really been clearly defined. So let me just say this up front. If you are happily dating this person, everything is clear, you both know how you feel, and the relationship is moving forward smoothly, this is not your pile. You may want to choose another one. This pile feels more like a situationship or people who broke up, or even if you're technically together, the energy between you two feels stagnant, heavy, or unclear. It feels kind of blurry. Some of you are standing at a crossroads in this relationship, and if this is someone you broke up with, I feel like a lot of you still haven't fully moved on emotionally. So to summarize, this is for situationship, undefined connection, people who still talk but don't know what they are, people who are separated or not in contact but still feel like there is a chance this could come back around, or two people who are very aware of each other but nothing is really progressing. Now, looking at the current situation. The first card is the Chariot, clarified by the Five of Coins. And this is interesting because the Chariot is a card of movement. It's like, once I decide, I'm going forward, I'm going this direction. It has willpower. But with the Five of Coins clarifying it, this person wants to move, but they can't. There seems to be some kind of real life limitation here. It could be work, money, it could be physical distance, timing, or if it's not that, then this person may be scared of a rejection. They may be scared that if they make a move, you won't respond the way they hope. What's interesting about this combination is that I don't really see coldness or indifference here. So this doesn't feel like a clean ending. It feels more like a pause. Especially because we have the lovers here. Yes, the lovers can talk about romantic feelings, but in this spread, I see it more as a choice. Like, should I keep going with this person? Should I reach out first? Should I ask to start over? And when I look at the Fool and Judgment, also Ace of Wands here, there is a very strong energy of new beginning, realization, revival, and trying again. Judgment is also one of the classic reconciliation cards, especially for people who are separated. So this doesn't look like a relationship that is completely over. It looks like something that hasn't reached its final conclusion yet. Even if you and this person are fully broken up and not talking at all right now, the energy says this connection does not feel completely closed. The last card here is the Knight of Coins. And this person is thoughtful, careful, realistic. But in terms of speed, this is a very slow card. It's not exactly the most action-oriented energy. We'll look deeper in the next row. But for now, the person you're thinking about doesn't seem to be doing amazingly well. Still, they do feel like they need to make some kind of a decision, and that decision seems to be leaning towards starting again. Now, let's get into today's main topic, their hidden feelings. Whatever your relationship is with this person, they do have feelings for you. There's also hope here. They're still seeing potential in this connection. And there's a part of them that wants this to work out. This is not someone who wants to completely close the door on you. Not at all. With the star clarified by the Knight of Wands, this person's feelings are actually warmer than you might think. Simply put, they miss you, they want to see you, they want to reach out, and there is still attraction here. But what's frustrating is the hangman comes right after that, which means they're not really doing anything about it. So inside, they have hope, attraction, and emotion. But on the outside, they're just kind of suspended. Like I said in the first row, they may be afraid of rejection, they may not know how you'd react, or they may be watching the situation and waiting for the right timing. But the card right in the center is the Ace of Coins, and this is a card of potential. When this comes up in someone's hidden feelings, this is not the energy of someone who has completely shut the door. They think there could be a real chance here. They may be thinking like, maybe we could meet again. Maybe this could start again. I really do feel like this person thinks about contacting you quite a bit. But then we get another frustrating card right after that, Strength. Strength does not mean there are no feelings. It means this person is managing their feelings. They're holding back. Even if they like you, they're not showing it. They're controlling themselves. So from your point of view, they may look uninterested, and because there's no real action, some of you may have already given up. But no, that's not exactly what I'm seeing. This person is holding it in. The last card here shows that when they think about you and this connection, there is emotional satisfaction. There is a happiness. There's that this person makes me feel good kind of feeling. But the Five of Wands is clarifying it. So there is also some inner conflict or noise around this. There may be something between you two that needs to be resolved before this can move forward. It could be conflict between you and them. Or like I said earlier, it could be outside factors, other people, complicated relationship, competition, or just a messy situation around them. But I always say this in hidden feelings readings. No matter how much love or emotions someone has inside, feelings that are not expressed and not acted on don't really mean much in the real world. Of course, as someone who reads energy, I can give you the spiritual side of the message. But at the same time, you and myself, we all live in the real world, right? So I try to keep my advice practical and grounded. And honestly, today this person feels like someone who does have feelings, but has almost decided not to move yet. So I'm a little nervous to look at the next row. Let's see what they are actually going to do. Okay, basically, because the Knight of Cups is in the center, there can be a contact from this person. They may reach out, message you, interact with you on social media, or express their feelings in some way. But is it coming immediately? I don't really think so. The last card is the Five of Wands again, and it's clarified by the Four of Cups. So this is a pretty frustrating combination. The fact that the Five of Wands keeps repeating tells me that this is the main energy blocking their action and suppressing their feelings. Like I said before, it could be an internal conflict, like, should I reach out or not? Or it could be a clash in the actual situation. For example, there could be something genuinely interfering between the two of you, like distance, schedule not lining up, practical issues, or even a third party influence. And when I say third party, it doesn't always mean a romantic rival. It can just be people, social circles, family, friends, or relationship dynamics around them. With the Four of Cups clarifying this, The energy is very much like, I know I should do something, but I can't. I want to, but I can't. So this person may naturally be someone who overthinks, takes their time, and moves slowly. We have the King of Coins here. And earlier, we also had the Knight of Coins, right? So this feels less like someone who will never contact you and more like someone who thinks for a long, long time before finally doing something. This is not the type of person who gets drunk at night and calls impulsively. This is more like someone who sits with it, thinks about it, and considers all the practical things and then reaches out. So I don't think contact is coming super fast. I know some of you are waiting for communication, and I'm sorry if this is not the answer you wanted to hear. And if your connection is undefined and you're waiting for clarity, it's similar. It can happen, but it's going to take time. Overall, this person does have feelings, and the direction of this connection emotionally is leaning towards something positive. That part is good. The issue is that this person is slow and not very action oriented right now. No matter what your exact situation is with them, the common message is this: communication, clarity, or some kind of an answer can come, but it comes late. However, based on their current emotional state and energy, if you do eventually get an answer from this person, there is a high chance it will be a positive one. Of course, if you don't like this person anymore and you don't want to deal with them, then I guess that's bad news. But honestly, I don't feel like many people watching this pile are in that category. So let's move on and look at the advice for you. We have a clover and mice. I got excited when I saw the first card, but the mice come out. For those of you waiting for contact, I do think it's okay for you to reach out first. But, and this is important, don't go in expecting a serious answer, a clear definition, or heavy conversation right away. If you come in too serious, this person may pull back even more. So if you do reach out, keep it light, just a casual check in, something easy. If you make this heavy, it could actually deepen the tension. And for those of you who are like, no, I'm not reaching out first, I'm going to wait, then the advice is not to obsess over the current situation or the status of this relationship. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Because honestly, at this point, it feels like your own thoughts are draining you more than the actual relationship itself. You know how sometimes you start, analyzing their stories, their posts, their captions, what they liked, what they didn't like. Don't do that. Don't give every little thing a huge meaning. And if you happen to get a chance to talk to this person, or you random run into each other, or something happens unexpectedly, don't make it heavy. Keep your response light. If they post a story, maybe you like it once in a while. That's it. And because the Five of Wands energy kept showing up, I really want to say this. Some of you are stressing yourselves out with too much worry and too much interpretation. You may be draining your own energy more than this person is. If there is an issue between the two of you, let this person handle their part. Don't spend all your energy trying to solve everything for them. Sometimes, what damages a connection is not a lack of feelings, but too much fear, too much pressure, and too much anxiety. So again, if you get a chance to talk to them, keep it light. I'm planning to bring this topic back regularly, so if some time passes and your connection still feels stuck, you can always come back and check the energy again, because energy is always changing. And that's what I have for pile number 1. Thank you so much for watching today's reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Welcome to everyone who picked pile number 2. Today, we are doing a classing reading. We are going to look at their hidden feelings and their next action toward you. And since this is one of those classic reading, we are keeping it simple and using tarot decks only today. All right, let me quickly explain the layout. The first line is going to show me the dynamic between you and this person, along with the energy they are currently in. The second line is all about their hidden feelings, and then the third row is going to show their next action toward you. And of course, we'll finish with a little bit of advice for you. So let's jump into the first row. These cards are interesting. Honestly, if I had to summarize this row in one sentence, I would call it the ultimate contradiction. And right away, I feel like a lot of you watching this pile are dealing with your ex. Some of you may have gone through a breakup where one person got deeply hurt. Whatever your situation is, though, I don't really see happy couples here. And honestly, I would say there's about 99% chance that you and this person are not talking right now. There's no contact, no matter what the relationship used to be. This feels disconnected. There's a separation here. First of all, the person you're thinking about is not doing great. They're struggling. They're having trouble sleeping. They're carrying emotional pain, disappointment, hurt, maybe even what people would call the aftermath of a breakup. Their heart feels heavy. But here's what really stands out to me. We have the Nine of Swords and Nine of Cups. Then we have the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Swords. These are completely different energies, right? The Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups are almost the opposite. The Ace of Wands and Ten of Swords are literally beginning and the ending energy. One says start, the other says finish. What this tells me is that this person's emotional and mental state is full of contradiction. For example, they may spend nights overthinking and feeling miserable, but during the day, they act like they're totally fine. Or maybe they are trying to convince themselves that they are okay when they're really not. Another possibility is that what they feel and what they think they should feel are two different things. You know how after a breakup, sometimes you're completely heartbroken, but at the same time, you also know the breakup probably needed to happen. Maybe the relationship was unhealthy. Maybe there were constant arguments. Maybe there was too much pain. Logically, you know ending it makes sense, right? But emotionally, letting go is a completely different story. Now, some people would call that unfinished closure, but honestly, the energy I'm picking up feels a little different. It's more like the hurt is real, but my feelings for you are also real. Those two things exist at the same time. Do you see what I mean? Inside this person's mind, two completely opposite energies are crashing into each other. Look at the Nine of Swords and Nine of Cups. This person feels hurt, disappointed, stressed, maybe even unable to sleep. And yet, they still want you. But remember what the Nine of Cups represent? It's a card of personal satisfaction. So when they want you, part of that desire is connected to their own happiness. It's like, I want you because I feel better when you are in my life. It's not like in a cold or selfish way. What I'm saying is that this is not pure unconditional love energy. It's mixed with personal longing and emotional fulfillment. Then we have the Ace of Wands paired with the Ten of Swords. Honestly, I don't think I could intentionally create a spread this contradictory if I tried. The Ace of Wands says, I want a new beginning. I want to reach out. I feel attraction. But then the Knight of Wands come in say, yeah, but I'm guarded. This person wants to contact you, but they don't want to get hurt again. They miss you, but they are afraid the relationship will just repeat the same patterns. Even if they come back, they're not sure they could fully trust the situation. So while they want a fresh start, they're still carrying old wounds. And then my favorite combination here is the Ten of Swords with the Three of Wands. It's like they're saying it's over while simultaneously looking toward the future. What is it, right? They've accepted the ending, but they are still wondering, what if? They're still looking at possibilities. So even though this person is full of contradictions, that doesn't make their feelings fake. Their feelings are very real. It's just that, two completely different emotional truths are existing inside them at the same time. And honestly, I feel like they think about you a lot. So let's go deeper and see what their true feelings actually are, because now I'm really curious. Okay. This person wants to be with you. That's pretty clear. But let me ask you something. Did you cut them off? Or did they do something wrong and you walked away? Because I feel like there's a reason they are worried you might not be receptive. Their basic position is that they want another chance, but they are not sure you'd accept it. Looking at the first card, yes, they want a reconciliation, but they also think it may be difficult. And because this relationship became so heavy and overwhelming, they don't actually want to repeat the old version of this connection. They want a new version. Then we have justice. And notice something. There are not any cups here. Remember when I mentioned earlier that sometimes people know the relationship wasn't working? That's exactly what I'm seeing here. This person doesn't want to go back to the way things were. If the two of you were ever going to reconnect, they feel like it would have to happen differently. They don't want to make decisions based purely on emotions anymore. They don't want to ruin things again. Then right in the center, we have the Six of Wands, clarified by the Four of Wands. And this is a really interesting combination because this card feels different from everything around it. This is not just about wanting your attention or wanting validation. With the Four of Wands attached, this person wants to build something stable. They want to prove that they are capable of creating a healthy relationship with you. They want you to see them differently. And because of that, they are not rushing in blindly. They're trying to think logically. They're asking themselves questions like, what would I need to fix? Or what would have to change? How would we solve the problem that broke us before? They're mentally building a blueprint. They're making a plan. And if they can see a realistic solution, I honestly don't think they will make a move. Another thing I'm seeing is that you look very difficult to approach right now. Maybe you're coming across as a distant, cold, or emotionally unavailable. And that's making them hesitate too. Let me give you a quick example. Years ago, I dated someone who lied constantly, so this is my experience. Eventually, I got so hurt and disappointed that I ended the relationship. And after the breakup, when he came back saying things like, "Oh, I miss you, I love you, you're my soulmate," honestly, none of it landed. It didn't move me at all. I was like, okay, so what? But if he had come back with the actual solutions, real accountability, or a plan for how things would be different, I probably would at least listened. You know what I mean? That's how this person feels. They think meeting you again requires a strategy, not just emotions. They feel like the two of you would need a new manual for how this relationship works. So, yes, they absolutely want another chance. But right now, they're keeping those emotions under control. Now, let's see how they're actually going to do. Okay, this is a little frustrating. but I do think they're eventually going to move. The seven of coin in the action position tells me they're observing first. They're watching. They're evaluating. And honestly, there's some calculation here. What I mean is that they are waiting for the right condition. This is not an impulsive energy at all. It's very slow, very thoughtful, very deliberate. So I don't think contact is happening immediately. Then we have the emperor in the center. And let's be honest. Does the emperor jump up and run across the room? Not really. This person has pride. This person has ego. They have principles. They rely heavily on logic and self control. They don't move easily. But that doesn't mean they are stubborn for the sake of being stubborn. They are protective of their position. However, if they start believing that their place is beside you, then they absolutely can take action. That's what the chariot at the end is showing me. Once they decide, they move. The problem is getting to that decision. So like I suspected earlier, if the condition don't feel right, this person won't move at all. The biggest condition is believing that the two of you won't repeat the past. They need realistic proof that things could be different. And honestly, if you're currently giving off a very cold energy, softening that energy just a little could increase the chances of a reconciliation. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't want this person back at all, then honestly, just keep doing what you're doing. You're fine. But I know most of the people watching this reading are probably hoping for reconciliation, so let's look at your advice. We have the dog and the fish. Interesting. The first thing I want to tell you is this. Stop looking at this connection only through the lens of romance. The dog is about trust, loyalty, comfort, friendship. Take a step back and look at this as a person-to-person connection first. Before asking how much do we love each other or how serious is this relationship, you need to ask yourself, who is this person? Can I trust them? Who am I in this connection? Do I feel comfortable around them? Can we communicate well? In a lot of ways, this advice is telling you to go back to basic. Look at the human connection first. And if communication starts again, don't immediately jump into relationship discussions. Don't rush into defining things. Ask how they are doing, talk about shared interest, make a joke, bring up an old memory. Keep it light. The fish is a card of flow. Before you can define the relationship, you have to get the energy moving again. Right now, everything feels stuck and paused. And honestly, the person we are looking at today already overthinks everything. So if your goal is to reconnect, don't make the goal reconnection right away. Make the goal simply restarting communication. The dog and the fish together show a slow rebuilding process. So don't overreact to every little response. And I actually think this is a pile where reaching out first could work more than pile one. If you decide to contact them, keep the intention simple. Don't make it about getting back together. Make it about becoming two people who can talk again comfortably. Energy changes all the time, so if this person stays silent for a while, feel free to come back and check the energy again later. And that's everything I have for pile number 2. Thank you so much spending time with me today. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Welcome to everyone who picked pile number 3. Today, we are doing a classic reading. We are going to look at their hidden feelings and their next action toward you. And since this is such a classic topic, we are keeping it simple today and using tarot decks only. Let me quickly explain the spread. The first line is going to show me the dynamic between you and this person you're thinking about. The second line is going to show their hidden feelings, and the third row is going to show their next action toward you. And then we'll finish with a quick advice message for you. So let's start with the first line. Pile 3 actually covers a lot of different situations. Unlike pile 2, where I felt like almost everyone was dealing with our ex, this pile can be for situationships, couples, and people who are separated. The common thread here is that this connection is meaningful and it also has real life potential. But right now, it feels stuck. And because of that, there is a disappointment, hurt, or emotional distance. Of course, I cannot say the Three of Swords is only coming from that one reason, but that's the strongest common energy I'm seeing. Still, there is a thought being put into where this relationship should go. If this is a situationship or undefined connection, there may be mutual attraction, but one person, or maybe both of you, is not making a clear move. If you are in a relationship, one person may be too passive, or real life issues may be keeping the relationship from progressing. And because of that, one or both of you may feel hurt or disappointed. I'm also seeing connection that may have developed through a group, a workplace, a friend circle, or some kind of a shared environment. Some of you may have met online as well. And if this is your ex, I feel like there is still some kind of a link between you two. And there may still be room to work things out again. Overall, there are feelings here, but the energy is paused. That's the common thread. This person may not be able to make a decision. You may be the one waiting. The relationship may be unclear, and neither person knows who should move first. Or there may be practical conditions that are not lining up. The Queen of Coins is a really beautiful card, but it's also very realistic. So this is not a connection that can move forward on chemistry alone. There may be very practical factors involved, like communications, distance, work, finance, schedule, lifestyle, or timing. And with the Three of Swords and the Three of Coins, if we read the Lovers as a card of choice, I do think some of you are dealing with a third party situation. And that may be where the heart is coming from. If that is your case, even if this person is indecisive, I do feel like they're leaning more toward choosing you. The frustrating part is their indecision and their slow pace. But emotionally, the side they're leaning toward feels like you. If that third party message doesn't apply to you, then this looks more like a disappointment or hurt coming from relationship coordination and communication issues, or not knowing each person's role in the connection. Since the Three of Coins is the last card here, this is not a card of complete separation. There is still room to rebuild, adjust, and have conversation. But the Three of Coins cannot really work if only one person is waiting or sacrificing. This connection needs a realistic conversation. Still, because the Queen of Coins is in the center, I do feel like this relationship requires effort, but it has value. And I just had this thought come through. I mentioned the third party situation earlier. And if that is the case for you, this may be a third party situation within a serious relationship. Like someone may already be married, or there may already be shared life structure involved. Situationships or couples can also have this dynamic, of course, but I feel like that particular message is more likely for people in more serious or established connection. Okay, let's look deeper into what this person is really thinking and feeling. Okay, there is definitely a third party situation here for some of you. For some of you, this is absolutely a case where a spouse or a partner cheated. The magician can carry a player energy, right? And we also have the number 3 showing up again. 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords. Yeah. For those of you watching who are in the third party situation, I feel like many of you already know about it. Have you actually received a proper apology from this person? Because when I look at their feelings, there is emotion here. There is a love here. Personally, when it comes to love reading, I actually see the Two of Cups as one of the strongest love cards, even more than the Lovers. And it came out with the Sun, which is such a strong major arcana. So their feelings for you are deep. They do value you. They see you as a good partner, someone attractive, someone meaningful, someone they genuinely care about. But when you look at the original imagery of the sun card, there is a child, and the sun itself is huge. So it's bright and pure, but the shadow side can be ego, immaturity, and self centeredness. And I always pay attention to the imagery of the deck. In this sun card, everything around it has melted down. You see that, right? Then in the middle, we have the Knight of Swords clarified by the Three of Swords. What I'm feeling is this. If this person you're thinking about cheated, whether they are your spouse, your partner, or boyfriend, girlfriend, they know that you are hurt. They know they caused the pain. But more than sitting deeply with that pain, they want to move past this situation quickly. I don't know if there has been a truly sincere apology, but their energy feels rushed. They don't want to lose you. They like you. They want to keep this relationship going. So their urgency is coming first. And with the magician here, this person can be very capable. The magician can create situation, fix things, control the narrative, and move things in the direction they want. So what I'm feeling is that this person knows they did something wrong, but their biggest desire is to smooth things over quickly and bring the relationship back to a stable place, almost like before. I read the sun in two ways here. If this is your partner, this may be someone who makes the people around them emotionally or mentally exhausted. I don't really know how else to explain it. I don't think they're intentionally trying to hurt people, but being around them may have brought a lot of emotional chaos or, stress or anxiety. Their ego is very strong and they can be very self focused. But if you are represented by the sun, then you are someone bright, warm, and radiant. Even the strong, beautiful sunlight has been melted down here because of exhaustion, because of pain, because of hurt. Since this is a general reading, there can be many interpretations. But even for those of you who are not dealing with the third party issue, the common message is that this person wants to get past whatever problem exists between you two and stabilize the relationship quickly. They see you as a very good partner. They want the connection to be happy, comfortable, and full of warmth again. Some of you may have hurt each other with words, especially with the Knight of Swords here. There may have been sharp conversation or arguments. But instead of truly understanding your pain, reflecting deeply, or making a sincere apology, the energy feels more like, let's just get through this somehow. Let's fix the mood. Let's move on. Their actions may be rushed or immature, but the feelings underneath is real. The question is there a way of expressing it as mature as you need it to be? Honestly, I don't think so. It's kind of like if you had a fight, instead of really looking at the root cause and solving the issue, they just want to talk a few times or laugh again and go back to being okay. It's very simple mindset. The core energy is I want this uncomfortable situation to be over. Okay, now let's see what they are actually going to do. Their actions really match their hidden feelings. When the fool comes out in the action position, they will move. There's a very high chance of some kind of conversation, contact, meeting, or action from them. But the fool is very impulsive. This is not steady, consistent effort. This is more like a sudden message, a sudden attempt to shift the mood, or a sudden action where they jump first and think later. And I don't feel like this is necessarily about properly solving the issue between you two. It feels impulsive. Like, let me just do it now. I'll think about the consequences later. Looking at the first card, we have the Eight of Swords to clarify the King of Coins. This is someone trapped in their thoughts, but not because they lack courage. It feels more like they're calculating. The King of Coin can be stable, but he also doesn't want to lose. So if this person is stuck in that kind of thinking, they may be asking themselves, what do I gain if I make a move? And I don't mean that in a purely material way. It's more like if they talk to you, things could go well or they could go badly, right? Because the outcome is not guaranteed. They're stuck in their head and not moving right away. The middle card is similar. Five of Wands clarified by the moon. They don't know how you feel. They don't know how the conversation will go. So they are overthinking everything alone. I read the Five of Wands here mostly as an internal conflict. From their point of view, they want to apologize. They want you to accept it. They want to talk if necessary. And they want to quickly move past this and get the relationship stable again. But nothing feels certain. So they are hesitant, nervous, imagining different scenarios and making assumptions in their head. But after sitting in that mental swamp for a while, they will suddenly go, whatever, I'm just going to do it, and move like the fool. So this could lead to a few conversations, but I don't know if those conversations will truly be about, growth, accountability, or make things better. If you still have unresolved emotional pain or unresolved issues between the two of you, those things may remain unresolved unless you're very intentional about addressing them. So I do think you need to think deeply about what you actually want. Let's look at your advice. We have mountain and heart. This can be read as love with obstacles, but more than that, I feel like this is talking about feelings that don't disappear easily. Sometimes disappointment and hurt are so painful because the feelings were deep in the first place. Mountain energy lasts. Mountain doesn't move easily, right? It's solid. And like we saw in their feelings, this person's emotion toward you are genuine. So the advice is not to doubt the feelings itself. The feeling is real. Another message here is that just because things are difficult right now doesn't mean this is over. This obstacle can be worked through. When we climb a mountain, when we cross a mountain, do you usually blast straight through the middle of it? No, we go around it. We follow the path, right? We take the ridge. So don't try to force a direct confrontation with every problem all at once. Of course, if you need an apology, you deserve an apology. If a conversation needs to happen, it needs to happen. But don't become completely consumed by the problem itself. The feelings between you two are very heavy, deep, and long lasting. So even if this takes time, even if you have to take the long way around, the emotion itself doesn't feel like it's going to disappear easily. Right now, slow is better. Take your time. Think things through. Check in with your own heart. And I really hope you choose the path that is best for you. And that's what I have for pile number 3 today. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Welcome to everyone who picked pile number 4. Today, we are doing a classic reading. We are going to look at their hidden feelings and their next action toward you. And since this is such a classic topic, we're keeping it simple today and using tarot decks only. Alright, let me quickly explain the spread. The first row is going to show me the dynamic between you and the person you're thinking about, and also the energy they're currently in. The second row is going to show their hidden feelings, and the third row is going to show their next action toward you. And then we'll finish with a quick advice message for you. So let's start with the first line. No matter what kind of connection this is, the energy here feels quiet, deep, and mature. There may not be a lot of expression or communication, but it doesn't feel frustrating in a chaotic way. It feels very calm. When I looked at this layout, I immediately thought of a still lake. Very quiet on the surface, but very deep underneath. And the feeling underneath this connection is very strong. One person, or maybe both of you, definitely has feelings, but those feelings are being held back because someone is being very careful. What's important here is that we have the King of Cups and Queen of Cups, a true pair, and we also have the Queen of Coins. So some of you may actually be married, or you may be in a long-term relationship that feels almost like a marriage. I'm also seeing a lot of you are separated. This connection has a desire for stability, protection, long-lasting feelings, and emotional attachment. But because we have the Two of Swords and Temperance here, the feelings are not immediately turning into action. There could be many reasons for that. Maybe both of you are being careful. Maybe someone doesn't want to ruin the connection. Maybe the situation requires patience. I'm seeing a lot of different relationship types here, but for many of you, this is someone you've known for a long time, or someone from your past. There may be married couples here too. This doesn't feel like brand new feelings. It feels like something deep and heavy that has been carried for a while. So this could be someone you used to date, or if this is a friendship, it could be a longtime friend, someone who feels familiar to you. If you're currently in a relationship, this could be a long-term couple, a couple where the feelings are still there, but the expression has decreased, or a couple that knows they care about each other but doesn't communicate enough. If you're still in the getting to know each other stage, both of you are being careful. This doesn't feel like a super young or reckless energy. It feels more like two people who are a little more mature, a little more cautious, and trying to approach things carefully. If these are external reasons making this connection slower, it could be an age difference, different circumstances, different conditions, or existing responsibilities that make it hard to move easily. So you can understand this as a connection that is slow because it's being taken seriously. This person sees you as someone very valuable. Their feelings are deep, and no matter what kind of a relationship this is, they are very aware of you. What I mean is, they are wondering how you feel, where your heart is, what kind of emotional state you're in. But instead of asking you directly, they may be observing indirectly. They may look at your social media or, try to read small clues to figure out what's going on with you. This is not just a random curiosity. This is observation coming from genuine interest. If you're separated or if things have been distant between you, there is a possibility of a reconnection here. And this feels more like a nostalgic connection than a wound-based connection. So the common energy is this. On the outside, it's quiet, but on the inside, it's deep. And there does seem to be something left between you two that needs to be adjusted, something you need to work through. Not exactly an obstacle, but more like unfinished homework that needs to be talked through carefully. I feel like many of you picked this pile because there's something between you and this person that needs to be gently worked out. So let's leave the first row there and look more closely at their hidden feelings. Mm, Now that I'm looking at their feelings, I do think more of you may be separated than I initially thought. And the feeling I got right away was I tried to forget you, but I couldn't. It feels like this person cannot fully let go of their emotions. We have another queen card here too. So this person, you're extremely attractive. You have a presence. You are not easy to forget. It feels like I met other people, but no one was really like you. So in the first row, this person had a stable and a serious energy. So yes, they do want a stable relationship. But I don't think they are drawn to you only because you're stable. They are drawn to you because you have a real magnetism. A lot of you have a strong aura, a strong energy, something very specific that stays in people's mind. The Five of Cups is clarified by the strength. And usually the Five of Cups is read as a regret, but in this combination, I feel like this person's hidden psychology is very clear. They miss you, they want to reach out, they want to talk to you, but they are suppressing those feelings. This doesn't feel only like regret over something they did in the past. It feels more like the frustration of having deep feeling but not being able to express them. And the peak of this row is the Four of Coins. No matter what kind of a relationship this is, this person cannot let go of you. It may be you as a person, or it may be their own deep feelings and thoughts about you. Either way, they can't release it. If you are separated, this person has not moved on. Not at all. They still think about you. If you are currently together, this can show possessiveness, but not necessarily, in a bad way. It's more like I don't want to lose you. Even if they are not showing much on the outside, this is someone who has no real intention of letting you go. Mm, When I saw the Fool and a Six of Cups later in the row, that's when I really started thinking many of you may be dealing with your past person. The Fool usually talks about new beginning, and the Six of Swords is about moving forward even when you don't really want to. But then right after that, we have the Six of Cups. And numerologically, 6 is about harmony, recovery, balance, and stability. If 5 is conflict, change, and crisis, then 6 is the stage after the chaos, where things begin to settle again. The repeated 6 energy here tells me that this person knows they need to move forward. If this is an X, they may be telling themselves, I need to forget this. I need to start fresh. I need to move on. But their hurt is not moving. They remember you. A song reminds them of you. They may check your social media. They may say, I'm moving on, but honestly, I don't think they really are. It feels like they're living inside the feelings instead of living it. If you are in the getting to know each other stage, then they want to move out of this vague energy. They want to close the gap, change the mood, and take the relationship to the next stage. In a reconnection context, the Six of Cups can mean nostalgia and an ex. But in situation context, it means they feel comfortable with you. There is an emotional familiarity here, a pure kind of affection that doesn't feel calculated. So if this is not about reconciliation, I would read it as wanting to move from this unclear stage into something more natural, closer, and emotionally connected. If you are already a couple, this shows a desire to become close again, like you used to be, especially if things have become quiet or distant. Their feelings are really sweet. So let's see what this person is going to do. Why are their actions like this? Their heart and their behavior are really not on the same page. Like I said, they are drawn to you. They feel attached. They care. They cannot let go. But when it comes to judging the current situation, they are not going to move purely from emotion. Justice is a calculated judgment. So justice basically holds back the impulse of the devil. They may want a lot, they may feel strongly, but their actual actions are covered by logic, calculation, and self-control. If they want to contact you, the questions becomes, is now the right time? If they want to get closer, the questions becomes, but do they want that too? So the core card here is the Five of Wands, clarified by the Ten of Cups. And this is why tarot is so interesting because the meaning shifts depending on the combination and the energy around the card. A lot of people know the Five of Wands as conflict, competition, tensions, or watching each other, right? But with the Ten of Cups here, this person actually wants something so badly. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment, a happy relationship, a shared future, the completion of love. This person wants that happy picture, but they feel conflicted because the road to get there looks difficult. If you are in the getting to know each other stage, this person likes you, they care, they want to get closer, but they keep calculating and watching your reaction, which is why their actions are so slow. If this is a reconciliation situation, the energy is even stronger. They cannot forget you. Their feelings are deep. They're almost living inside their memories. They want to try again, but something is creating conflict. And that connects back to what I said in the first row. No matter what kind of connection this is, there seems to be something between you two that needs to be talked, adjusted. If you connect it to the message, this will make a lot of sense. This person is in a contradictory state because what they want is the Ten of Cups, and even the end point of their conflict is the Ten of Cups. You know what I mean? Reading the energy from the first row until now, this person's feelings are overflowing. What they lack is decisiveness. So conclusion, I don't really see strong action right now. Pile for people, I know that may feel frustrating, but energy moves, the energy can change. So if some time passes, you can always check again. Also, I want to tell you this. When you watch tarot reading, try not to watch the same topic too often, especially with the general readings. Many people are watching the general reading, so the energy can get mixed, and you can also get too caught up in the reading itself. So even if today's result doesn't feel ideal, it's better to give it some time and come back later. Anyway, let's look at the advice you need. I actually feel like it may be okay for you to reach out first, but let me check the advice cards before I say that for sure. Wow. The advice cards are beautiful. We have the ship and the bouquet. The ship says, move, change something, close the distance, move in a new direction. The common energy in your pile has been stagnation, repeated patterns, and watching each other from a distance. The ship is telling you to change the state. The bouquet is joy, kindness, a pleasant meeting, a gift. And the order matters. It's saying that after movement, there can be a gift-like result. It's simple. If you try to create change, an opportunity can appear. If you make contact, you may receive a pleasant response. So if this relationship feels too stuck and you're thinking, Fine, I'll be the one to change the energy. I reach out first. Then, yes, go ahead. I think you can try. Don't just sit there waiting. Change the vibe. For this pile, it's better to initiate something than to simply wait for the energy to flow on its own. And if you are in the getting to know each other stage, it's important to create a new point of contact instead of maintaining the same dynamic. What I mean by that is, for example, if until now you've only liked their Instagram post or occasionally reply to their stories, just a DM, maybe it's time to actually meet in person. If you've only been texting, maybe try a phone call. Change the form of connection. If it's been a long time since you contact them, a light to check in message could also be good. And if you're currently in a relationship, changing the conversation topic or switching up your dating pattern could really help. The key here is not to force a relationship definition. The key is to create more shared experience and slightly change the current dynamic. Please share your experience with me because I'd love to hear how this plays out for you. And that's what I have for pile number 4. Thank you so much for watching today's reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.